All right, very good. Let's do this. Sounds like a great idea. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Pierre. I hope you had a great weekend. I know that I did. So let's do what we usually do. That is to go over to the computer and we're going to take a look at a quick recap of what we did last Friday. So it was rather exciting because last Friday we actually finished a painting. So we ended by stretching a little wire in the background for our client. This is the painting that we had just finished the day before, I guess, last Thursday. Then we cleaned up the studio. We unrolled the next canvas, got the sizes that we wanted, cut it up, and then we stapled it to the wall right behind me. And after that, because it has such a shitty coat of factory-made gesso, we put on another coat so that the paint would stick to it. So that's basically what we did last Friday. And what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to first of all lay out the next painting. So I'm going to go back over here. I have an idea of what I would like to do at first. And what I'm going to do is basically do a sort of a frame and then a circle in the middle. So we're going to start off with the circle so I have an idea, a pretty good idea of where, how to go about to do the frame. So to find the center, of course, it's not very complicated. You just go from corner to corner, and where the lines cross, it's basically the center of your canvas. I'm going to do this very lightly. There we go. I don't need much chalk on that. After all, I'm not on a construction site. And we're going to do the same here as well. And of course, we don't have to be a 16th close. We just want a general idea. And it's basically right there. No need to make any. There we go, put this away. So I know my center is right here. Get rid of the rest of the chalk marks. There we go. The center is right here. I'm going to put a little pencil mark here just to know. There we go. Because that will be the center of my circle. Now, I have to figure out the kind of frame I want. And for that, I am not exactly sure. So I'm going to have to measure and eyeball it. So I was thinking something like 13 centimeters, which would be a little bit over the 4 inches, 4 to 5 inches as a frame going all around. But yet the centerpiece, I want to find it here. I want it to look like if it was a piece of film. So I need to stand back and stare at this, because there's nothing better than the eyeball to figure out a canvas. So what if I had this much? So how much is that? About 24 to 25. 20. Let's just make it an even 24 centimeters, of course. And then I'm going to go with my, what did we say, 13 as a frame. So That would be 37.5 from the edge. And since we want this to be symmetrical, let's see what that gives us. 37.5. That would be there. And the 13 inches or centimeters would be there. So the only way I'm going to figure this out is by drawing it out. So let's do that. Where are we here? We said about 24 centimeters. So let's go 24. 24 up here. We said about 13 from up here. I'm wondering if I shouldn't add an inch to that. Okay, let's just go with it, okay? We can figure it out. We can change it. If it doesn't look right, we'll just change it and use an eraser. And there we go. Let's just try that. So 13 here, 13 here. 24 over here. And the 13 from the bottom. I mean, this channel, we decided that we would do everything together, even the processes that are kind of slow and boring, but that's the way it goes. There we go. Another 24 here, plus 13. Here we said 13. $13 in the middle. That's about there. Okay. Then another 13 on the inside here, right? And 13 here. Okay, so let's see what this brings us here. Okay, I have to just bring this here. 13 here. That would be 13 down here as well. I'm not sure if I even have to do what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to be cautious here. Okay, so let's try this out. So let's go with the inner. This is going to be the inner frame. I'm going to do it very lightly, okay? Very lightly penciled in. Unfortunately, on the camera, you won't see much. But until I'm absolutely sure I know what I'm doing, and then I'm going to do this inside of this frame as well, just to have a quick idea of the proportions. Okay, let me stand back here, take a look. Okay. Okay, that looks, I think that looks pretty good. I'm still not quite sure how, well, we'll figure it out as we go along. Just going to do a little line there. A little line here. Like that. As soon as I do the background, start painting, it will all make sense for those who are watching on the camera. Now I've got to step back again and take a look. Step over to the side here. And so get out of the way. Okay, very good. I guess that's kind of what I wanted to do. Let me just step back over here a second. Okay, very good. Now I would like to have like a little curved edge on all these. So I'm going to get my compass out and try to figure out a fairly nice distance. Or even more maybe. How's that look? Hmm? Like that. And like that. How's that look now? Let me stand back and take a second to check that out. Okay. So I'm just going to erase all the pencil marks that will be painted over. And like that, I'll have even a better view. Get rid of the chalk marks as well. Chalk here. There we go. little bit of chalk down here. Get rid of these pencil lines. Same here. There we go. Not that I have to. I'm looking at a black frame. Black, gold, red, with a circle in the middle, which at this point I have no idea really what I'm going after. So I need to do this circle first so that I can do the background around it. I'm not sure my compass is going to be big enough. Need it to be a little bit bigger. Therefore, I have to go over to my string compass. There we go. And let me see. How's that look? I think that's going to be just fine. Let's get this circle all the way around. And perfect. They do meet up perfectly. Okay, so I'm not sure you can see anything, unfortunately, but I'll try to zoom in, see maybe with a little luck, the resolution of the camera will show the circle is right here. You can't see it. Okay, I think the best way to see it is for me just to start doing the background, which I'm anxious to do anyway, so that's very good. So I'm going to switch back over here and we are going to get the paint ready. Move this out of the way. And what are we going to go? We're going to go for a red, nice deep cadmium hue. There we go. First, stains on the hands just by taking off the cap. So what am I doing here? I am looking for a brush. And I'm going to go with a soft, kind of a soft brush. We're going to need 2 coats anyways. So I'm going to get a palette together here. So is this going to cooperate or what? So I've shown this before on my stream, but just to show how acrylic paints is basically just plastic. You can just peel off the dry paint once it's nice and thick. And you can just see it stretch like that. Just, right? I mean, it is pigment in a polymer emulsion, which is nothing else but plastic. So that is why acrylic paints last so long and don't lose their coloring with time, and actually doesn't smell that bad. When you're actually painting with acrylic paints, it doesn't smell at all. But anybody who's done it for a while will let you know that if you leave a brush full of acrylic paint or let the sediment in a jar just settle to the bottom of the jar like this, just let the sediment of paint drop and you don't touch it, after a while it stinks like rotten eggs. But while you're painting, it doesn't smell. I must say, I enjoy the smell of oil paints, that linseed oil. I just love that smell, but then again, I'm not all day long in it, which maybe after a while could be kind of painful. Okay, brush knife all clean for the next use. Very good. And this is not going to be rocket science. It's basically just going to be water diluted with the red paint to get the right texture that we enjoy. I have water right next door, right here, very practical as well. So I'm just going to take a few minutes and just kind of mix everything together. I know I'm not going to have enough paint here, but since it's not going to be complicated matching the colors, I can always add more paint later, which is probably what's going to happen. So let me just work this out here. So I'll just grab a bunch of more water. There you go. There we go. Getting very close. Okay, there we go. Like I say, we'll add more water, more paint as we go along. Let's just get to work. So I'm going to start off on this upper left-hand corner like that. I know I won't put my hands in the paint, so let's tackle our new painting. Exciting. There we go. Add a little water here so we can cover more of a surface. I should do the house painting trick, which is make a W, and then you just fill in the W. So I'm just going to go very quickly because like I said, we'll need a second coat. And then of course there's going to be shadowing, there's going to be rings, there's going to be planets. A lot of stuff in this red. So this is really just the basic background. I'll just bring the camera down just a whisker, just to be sure that you can see what's going on. I'm trying to be precise on this first coat, like that when I put the second coat, I won't have to be that precise. There we go, that's a beautiful red. Little staple there, giving me a hard time. There we go. Okay. Now let's tackle the inside now of this frame. I'll move the camera over just a little bit. There we go. And we are going to tackle it from here. So this brush is great for surfaces, but the hairs are so soft that not very good for precise work. I don't have much control over it. But fortunately, so far it's working out okay. A little more water. I'm going to do all the edges first, all the hard part first. On this edge it doesn't matter that much because since it's going to be black paint, that's going to be the border, it will cover all my mistakes if I make any, which I'm sure I won't, of course. Hell, you make mistakes. Okay, let's be careful here again. Very good. Let's see if I can't get this straight line going. There. Really didn't have much control over it, but I lucked out. I'll go back here, finish off this. There you go, very nice. Oops, I don't know what this black shit is. There we go. Okay, very good. Now I am going to just go over here for one split second. I'm going to come back over here because I need two things. I need a drink of water because we are at the end of August. And though it's semi-cloudy today here in southern France, it doesn't mean that it's much cooler. So if you don't mind, I am just going to take a few seconds and wipe off the sweat that is building up on my forehead and my eyebrows. And when I feel that it's starting to sting is when I know it's time to wipe it off. There we go. Thank you very much. Let's get that mop out of the way as well. And let's get back to our painting. So I'll go back up to here. There we go. There we go. As well. Let's get a little more paint ready here. We'll need it anyways. So let's go up here. Boom. Very good. First shot. All right. Well, got a little paint on the hands there. It doesn't matter. Very good. Okay. Just doing the parts where I have to stay concentrated the most first. There we go. And I am going to wipe off this excess paint that I got probably from putting down my paintbrush in the paint. It's going to be great taking the tramway back home tonight. People are going to think I murdered somebody. And I might as well wipe off the brush since that is the culprit. There we go. Always wipe the weapon clean, they say. Okay, now let's move on to the circle. I'm going to do the outline. Again, the hardest part, well, at least the part where I have to be the most concentrated. So, might as well start somewhere like here. And again, I'm going right to the outer edge of this circle when I know damn well there's going to be a black outline around it. So I don't know why I always have to get as close as possible when I don't need to. But I do that every painting and for the last 40 years. I guess force of habit, right? Okay, let's go back here. All right. Very good. Just a little bit more. Well, unless I sneeze, it should end up nicely. There we go. Very nice. Okay. Very good. Well, might as well continue on the part where you're going to be concentrated. So I'm going to go down this way. Very good. Most of this line I can't see. I'm kind of guessing where I'm going, but okay. Now the last little. Oops. No. Okay, no harm done. I was afraid that I screwed up. Well, I did a little bit, but no big deal. Really, no big deal at all, since the whole thing is going to be black anyways. I guess force of habit. Okay, very good. Now let's just do the easy paint by numbers trick. That is to just fill in the void. Get a little bit of water here. And we'll do the old painting trick. Make a W and just fill in between. Except we want to go around and around. There we go. Very good. Dab of water. I am going to have to make a little more paint right now because I am out of it. And like I mentioned before, if we want a nice deep red, we'll have to put a second coat. So I'm just going to add a little more paint right here. There we go, a little red. Let's try this out first. And if that is not enough, we will just add more later. So yes, I also do abstract paintings. So if you want to buy a beautiful abstract painting, you can always contact me. I have a lot of these paintings for sale. Just make sure you get a hold of me down in the comments and see what we can work out. And let me cover this up. Let me move this back here, make some room, get the water out of the way. And we are going to work out this paint like we did earlier for a few seconds just to get the right texture. We can do that, I think, together. So I come back over here. I'll move out of the way of the fan that might be blowing in the microphone, which is so annoying. Okay, let's start off with that. I'm going to bring this camera over a little bit more to the middle of the room. And now you saw my beautiful floor. Let's return to the canvas. Here we go. So maybe I'm going to look at my computer to make sure that my mind and the camera are on the same wavelength. And they are. Okay, very good. Very good. So I can continue without having to worry. There we go. There we go, beautiful. Just a little more water. I didn't even step back to see if all the proportions were okay. I hope so. Okay, very good. So, I am going to step back, take a look at all this from a little behind. Yes, okay. Okay. I hope everything's going to go as planned, but yeah, so far, I'm seeing the shape. I'm not exactly sure exactly how the whole thing is going to pan out, but so let's go over here. What happens if I switch to this camera? Does that work as well? Or am I going to be in the way? I think it'll work out. So, okay, so far so good. Just a little dab of water here. There we go. There, my canvas is a little warped because of the staples. Just kind of stretched the canvas and made like a little, I don't know what you call it, little what? Can't think of my words in English. There we go. This makes a little hump or whatever. I should think out my sentences before I start them. I'm sure I could avoid a lot of trouble painting myself in a corner with my words. Okay, let's go down here. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm going to just switch back to that camera. Okay, I don't have control here. And it's just a major drag to paint when you're not controlling your brush. There, it's much better. If it doesn't work going one way, you gotta switch and try going the other way. That usually helps. If it doesn't help, then it's because the paint isn't the right texture, and if that's not it, it's because you have the wrong paintbrush. There we go. So I need a little more red. Not much, so I'm going to go straight into the lion's den right in here. I'm going to take it out of this jar. There we go. Okay. I'm going to close this up. Step back and take a quick look and see where we're at. All right, I like it. I like it. So, very good, very good. Just gonna, there we go. Okay, very good. Now what? So for the next few days, we are going to be working on this red background. I don't really want to work on this. This is going to be all in black, right? With a lot of details, making it nice and pretty. And then this is going to be also another motif in here. I don't want to do these first because not only this is going to take a while to do the background where I'm going to have my electromagnetic waves and then I'm going to have little planets all around there. And then I'm going to splatter black paint all the way on the outside. So that is after that, the splattering of the black paint, that is when I'm going to paint this part. There's no point in doing it now. So, and to do that, I'm going to have to do that on the ground. And to paint this black paint, I'm going to have to paint it. Well, I don't know. I have to think this out. I mean, of course, I put newspaper and I kind of cover up all the parts that I don't want black spattering on, like in the center. But on the edges, I usually don't put any newspaper because I know right as soon as I finish splattering, I'm going to be painting in black, the same color. But there's quite a bit of surface here, and I'm not sure I will be able to do that before the paint starts drying and will show. I mean, if you put a coat of black paint and then let it dry and then go over these areas with black paint, well, this part here that you had that first coat of black paint is going to show. You're going to see it. Now imagine these are the splatterings and I start painting here, these dry. Well, when I get here and do the black paint, I will see the streaks and I don't want that. So I might have to go with the newspaper, hide it with newspaper, even though it takes a little longer, but it might just save me a lot of a headache and have an end result a lot nicer. So I think we have come to the conclusion of this stream. This is going to be a very short stream again. I'm going to come back here to the computer. Yes, this is obviously a very short stream, an hour long, but we did get quite a bit done. I'm just thinking like, what are we going to do tomorrow? If I have to put a second coat of red paint tomorrow, that means we're going to waste another afternoon when I could just stop the streaming and do that Well, what do you know? What do you know? And I could just stop the streaming and then put a second coat of red paint in a few minutes. Where is it? On this side? Okay. All the way up here? Boy. Good thing I didn't go home with that all over my face. That would have been wonderful. Okay. A little makeup job, live and in color from southern France. Wonderful. Okay. Well, my friends, thanks very much for joining me today, and I hope you'll join me tomorrow morning. We are going to start, let me see, we are going to, usually on Tuesdays I start at 10 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. And I guess I'm going to stick to my schedule. So, anyway, sorry about that. Do have to think things out once in a while. I am not a robot. So anyways, thanks for joining me, and I hope as well you'll join me tomorrow. I'll be here, like I said, at 10. And like usual, I'm going to leave you with my schedule and by saying, ciao mes amis.